Hey, what's up, you guys? Um, hey everyone, it's Jonathan, aka Mountain Body, and it's week 3 of The Artist's Way. Let's find our way. All right, so week 3 is all about recovering a sense of power. This week may find you dealing with unaccustomed bursts of energy and sharp peaks of anger, joy, and grief. You are coming into your power as the illusory hold of your previously accepted limits is shaken. You will be asked to continuously experiment with spiritual open-mindedness. So what's up? Today's Monday, so this video is already a day late. But yesterday, man, I was just a sleepy guy. I woke up, I ran 3 miles, my fastest 5K in a really long time. Very exciting. And then I did my artist date. And my artist date took like 3 hours. So by the end of the day, I was not up to filming and editing for like 5 hours. So I just took it easy. I watched It Part 2. Man, that movie is so long. For what? Clowns. But it was fun. I love a scary movie. I haven't been scared by a movie in years. Like, nothing scares me anymore. I'll talk to my therapist about that. How fun, though. I love being scared in safe ways. Anyways, let's answer these questions that Miss Julie is asking. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? How was that experience for you? If you skipped a day, why'd you skip it? What's your problem? No, I'm just kidding. I did all 7 of my morning pages. Thank you. The morning pages were a bit more difficult for me this week. I was really struggling to fill the page. Julia talks about your inner sensor that will pop up and try to block the flow of thought by placing judgments on it. But like, oh, why would you write that? That's so stupid. And the morning pages, not only are they a way to connect with your higher power, but they're also a way to get used to blocking out that sensor in order to just let the thoughts flow. And this week my sensor was loud as hell, and it was difficult for me to fill the page because I was consistently thinking, oh, I should write something else, or I should focus on something else. So it was a good exercise in just learning how to write what I was actually thinking at the time without judgment. And honestly, this week I was really tired, like physically. I've mentioned this before, showing up regardless of your feelings, and showing up and using the page as a place to rest. So in letting go of that, my inner censor, and allowing the words to flow, that also allowed me to kind of rest on the page and just take the pressure out of it and let the words flow. It wasn't easy. It was a fucking slog all week to get the pages filled, but I showed up and it was a good exercise in just letting the words flow, even whenever I'm fucking sleepy as hell. Okay, next question. Did you do your artist date this week? What did you do? How did it feel? So at first, my artist date was like working on these projection visuals for, a couple hours. And it was so difficult. I was really struggling to figure out what to put on the projector screen, and my inner sensor was so loud. Every time I added a piece of footage or an animation element to the timeline, I just thought, man, that looks really stupid. And I got really stuck on Friday. And so I gave it another go on Saturday and just said, whatever happens on that timeline, I just need to fill up as much of the song as much as possible. And that did pretty good. I got some really interesting moments in the visuals, and I got about halfway through the song. However, on Sunday, I woke up and I just felt like, man, that wasn't really what my inner artist wanted. Animating those visuals was very serious, and it was very difficult, and it didn't feel very playful because I had all of these judgments that I was constantly trying to fight off. It felt like the stakes were high because ultimately, I want all of that work that I go into these visuals to be shown to the world. But with that pressure that I was unable to let go of, I didn't leave that artist date feeling like my inner artist was satisfied. It felt like more work versus play. So I went to Clay Casa, where you can, pick your little items and paint them. That was awesome. I was there for like 3 hours and time just flew by. I was locked in. I could feel my inner artist like getting really excited whenever I was looking for the piece that I wanted to paint. Of course, I chose this very geometric little bowl, and I brought these stencils from home. And it's funny, I stenciled these patterns or these designs onto the vessel, but whenever I painted on, it totally just covered up all of the pencils. So I ended up just kind of freehanding all of the little accents on the different faces of the piece. And that was so much fun. I left that feeling like my inner artist was satisfied, because my younger self used to love fucking going to Clay Casa and painting all these little things. It was so easy to focus. Like I was just locked in. At the end, I felt very, calm, playful, confident, focused, and accomplished. So I learned something really good. For the artist date, it's important that I listen to my inner artist instead of I guess I don't really know what to call it, instead of okay, it's time to work voice. I felt like I took a major step forward in developing my sense of what my inner artist needs and what my, kind of logic brain wants. So that's my artist date. Another major theme in this week's chapter, synchronicity. Julia loosely defines this as a fortuitous intermeshing of events, basically answered prayers. And she describes the reaction that the universe puts forward whenever we take action that's connected to our highest selves. Essentially, the hand of God activated by our own hand when we act in behalf of our truest dreams, when we commit to our own soul. So the next question is if I've experienced any synchronicity this week. To be honest, whenever I was reviewing my week, I can't recall any experiences that felt synchronous. I believe that synchronicity is true, and I believe that putting out an action provokes a reaction from the universe. But this week, I can't really feel that was happening, or maybe I just wasn't aware of it. I think I've experienced synchronicity in other weeks, like posting a reel or the YouTube video and my YouTube video and getting responses from other people that are also doing the artist's way, or, people commenting that I hadn't heard from in years that I was so excited to hear from. So that was really cool. And that honestly planted the seed in my head that the action of sharing this journey, the action of sharing my music, the action of sharing does provoke a reaction, which was affirmed whenever I received energy back, even from people in person that had seen my little clips or watched my videos. So that was really encouraging. And I think that's an example of synchronicity where, I'm taking action and the universe is showing up for me, even if it's just in the form of encouragement. Honestly, I've had some really powerful reconnections as a result of me posting a video on Instagram and YouTube. So I think that's really remarkable, and that's really encouraging as I continue this journey of sharing and claiming my seat at the table. All right, last question. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Being super tired. I think that's because I'm not eating enough. So if I want to fix that, I'll have to start tracking my food pretty closely again to make sure I'm getting enough calories in the day. Instagram and YouTube, spending way too much fucking time scrolling on those apps. And if I'm going to have to fix that, I think I could find a new book to read since I already finished Annihilation. Setting blocks of time where I work, where my phone is not in the room with me. I think that'd be incredibly beneficial. And even if it's just like an hour a day, and then that builds over time to 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day of uninterrupted work, that'd make a major, major difference in my productivity and my ability to focus. One of my goals for this week will be to have an hour of uninterrupted, focused work time where my phone is in a different room. And then lastly, obsessing about other people and obsessing about things that I cannot change, I think has taken up a lot of my mental space. And the solution there is relying on my support network, taking action to focus on what's around me, and relying on my higher power and just trusting that everything is unfolding exactly the way that it needs to. Easier said than done. But hey, so much has gone right in my life over the past couple of years. The idea that I'm in the right place at the right time, that everything's happening the way it's supposed to be happening. Like, I'm so sure of that. I just have to consistently remind myself of all the good things that have happened and unfolded, even out of bad situations. Like moving to San Antonio, I did not want to move to San Antonio whenever I did, but I had to. I didn't have any other options. And it was the best decision I ever could have made. So that's a major event that I remind myself that something seemingly in my little head that was so bad actually turned out to be the best thing ever. So just reminding myself about that whenever I start thinking about things. That's my week 3 check-in. This video is super fast because it's already a day late. Come on, deadlines. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram. See you next week. Bye.